Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Hi.
Hey, Gary.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
What's up?
How you doing?
Not bad. Not bad.
Football is here.
Who is?
I mean, John, you and I can. We can move on from baseball.
Yeah, we can.
Awesome. No more baseball?
Well, there is baseball, but
I'll be watching other teams. And then, of course,
who?
The week that I was like, man, I think I'm going to be like Stibbs and get into the Mariners, and then they decide to trade their best relief pitcher in the division, and that team's going to start to go. So, yeah.
Sad.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Iowa Cubs playing at Wrigley Field for the next 2 months.
That's what it's going to be.
It'll be great.
So you're saying, Gary, if any of our listeners are maybe going to Chicago over the next couple of months and they're looking to go to a baseball game, it might be a little cheaper than normal?
That would be one advantage.
Nice.
I doubt it will be cheaper.
Oh, sad.
Because the Cubs will still charge full price. See if you can get them on the scalper market.
There you go.
Or you know what? Go to the South Side and watch the White Sox.
Because a couple of Cubs might be playing there. Well, one already is headed there.
Yeah, Ryan Tepera.
Yeah, you can't make that deal like the ticket office. Hey, is Bryant, Rizzo, and Baez here? No. Well, do you take off a percentage of my ticket?
Exactly, because you bought it assuming those guys would be there. Speaking of the Cubs and the White Sox, they trade like every other year.
Yes,
they are good trading partners.
It used to be very uncommon.
Yeah,
and now it happens a little bit more, which is fine.
Yeah,
like Joey Votto. Joey Votto hit a home run, did he?
Yeah, he's trying out for Major League All-Star caliber first baseman, just playing games in Wrigley Field.
Do you think so? You guys heard what Frost said in the last little bit about Fan Day. How much do you think that program would fetch? He has a Rozier, Fryer, Gill signed program.
I want to know what condition it's in.
You need it graded like baseball cards?
You have to have it like in baseball cards, like mint.
Is this a PS9?
Because, he was what? He was probably 7 or 8 when he got that bad boy
I was trying to
signed.
do the math. I was like, okay, so he would have been like 22, 23, and 97.
Yeah, I think he's 5 years younger than me.
So he's 45?
So shut up.
What?
Oh, I thought you meant 45 then. No.
No.
Yeah, I think he's 5 years younger than me, so that would put him around 8 years old.
Yeah.
Put him around 8 years old.
So how long has a Fan Day been going on? So we're at least back to 83.
Long as I can remember.
In the 70s? Did you ever go in the 70s?
I've never been to a Fan Day.
Really?
No. Dad wasn't going to drive us down to
It's an hour
Lincoln
away.
To go get autographs.
Let's go on the highway.
He worked to see the players?
He worked nights. So,
You've never been to a Fan Day.
What about your mom?
Even as like a media?
No. Why would I go as the...
So you could interview people. You'd be like, hey, I'm John Bishop.
No, I'm not there to interview people. I'm not there to interrupt the fans. It's their day. It's Fan Day.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Like right now, it's called Media Day. That's for the media.
Oh. But the paper goes and they're like,
and
this guy brought a trash can.
Well, and
I love
that's
those
fine.
stories.
But
They're so weird.
They shouldn't be bothering the players.
Bill traveled 18 hours.
They're there to be there for the fans.
Couldn't get Frost's autograph because they don't allow adults to get his
No,
autograph
I never
anymore.
did go to a Fan Day.
Wow.
I mean, I wanted to, but...
What about your mom? She could have taken you.
Mom never drove.
Oh.
Yeah, Mom never got got her driver's license.
Dang.
Yeah. It was up to Dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Controlling guy in the
Seriously?
No, he wasn't.
Get in the kitchen!
No.
Said John's dad.
That wasn't it. Jeez.
She's never driven?
She has a long, long time ago, but she
Wow.
never got her license. Ever.
So
She should now. That'd be a fun, bit.
You know what? That would be
I don't know
good.
if it would be. I don't know if Dad would be able to handle it very well.
Oh, man. What a reality show that would be.
And that's the funny thing. I get it. It is weird. I just got used to it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, if
I
you
just
grow up
got
that
used
way.
to it. Mom would go to the grocery store. She would bike, and she had this system where she would get 2 bags. She had her own homemade grocery bags with and she'd wrap wrap it around the handles, and then there'd be one on each
This
handlebar.
is like the great American small town story.
It really is.
Well, in Fremont's easy to bike around because it's flat as a table. There's no hills or anything.
The worst part about Fremont,
and the grocery
though,
store was close.
there's no stop signs anywhere. So you're just driving. It's like, well, I might get in an accident today because there's no stop signs over there. Whenever I go to my grandparents' house,
stop signs and traffic lights.
There is like a stretch.
Most neighborhoods don't have stop signs.
Yeah, I don't like that. It's weird.
Oh, now it's all about roundabouts.
You're supposed to yield to the person to your right.
Yeah, but what if they're not paying attention and suddenly you're just getting in accidents because no one is stopping?
Well, that's why you can't be driving 50 miles an hour through the neighborhoods, Josh.
I don't do that.
You can't drive 49 miles an hour.
When I'm a Fremont, I drive slow because I don't want to get hit.
No, never went to a fan day.
Jordan says, how would we know that Mario smokes cigars if not for the media at fan day?
That's true. Thank you, media.
I'm glad we know this. I'm glad that we know that at least 2/10 of the coaching staff uses tobacco products.
Well, I think it's probably a little
Spot the lie!
How many members of the coaching staff don't use
Uh,
tobacco products? That's the question.
So he's the only one I've seen smoking cigars.
Yeah.
The rest of them,
Everyone else
there's
dips.
some of them chew.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not trying to shame anybody. I mean, it's your life. You do it if you want, as long as you're not smoking, in my presence.
I mean, we had an opposing head coach that used to smoke on the sideline.
Yeah, and it was great because you knew that's when you knew Nebraska had their number because he was like, "Oh God, they're gonna beat me again."
Just think of today's college football. If you had a head coach that was smoking on the sideline,
What if he was vaping? That'd be awesome. Pulls out a vape pen. Remember Shane vaping back in the day with a huge monstrosity?
what if Saban, they caught him on camera?
Oh, that would
sucking.
be an all-timer. That would be awesome.
I'm surprised, as much as he smoked, that we never got pictures of a lot of pictures of Bear Bryant smoking on the sidelines. There's a famous picture when he and Devaney were mugging for the cameras because it was a pre-Orange Bowl or Sugar Bowl. I can't remember which bowl it was that they played against each other. Not the one where Nebraska won the national championship. But there's a famous picture of Bryant behind Devaney kind of mock choking him. And he's got this freaking Camel sticking out of his mouth. Or whatever he smoked. I don't know what it was, but it's just like, man, this guy, he just didn't care.
Well, there's a famous Len Dawson picture in the locker room of him smoking at halftime.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, I just found the picture of him pretending to choke Devaney.
Isn't that great?
Oh, that's awesome.
He's got that cigarette. Hey, treat that out.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
it's
cool.
a great picture.
So Switzer would smoke and then he would put it down on the sideline, right? I believe there is a picture that I've seen of.
Yeah, either that or maybe someone grabbed it from him, but they were behind the coach, one of the trainers or something. But yeah, he'd always hide it, or either hide it or discard it.
So who lit it up?
The AstroTurf didn't catch fire.
So who lit it up? Did a manager light up a cigarette
Probably.
and hand it to Barry?
Probably.
Or did he reach into his back? Or did he have a pack of cigarettes with him during the game?
I'd love to know. And he would answer the question. We need to get him on. Just ask him about his smoking habits.
So the last I can remember that smoked, Jim Leland. Jim Leland would smoke in the dugout.
Jim Leland, yes, he would.
But I can't recall anybody else that's been caught smoking in sports.
Dave.
Well, and you'll love this, Josh, because it was always the Big Show's favorite race car driver, Dick Trickle. He used to smoke during caution flags.
What?
Back in the days when they had the open face helmets.
Wow.
He'd light one up. He had a cigarette lighter installed in his car.
That's awesome.
Yes, the old school cigarette lighter. Kids, that little port that you used to plug your phone in to charge.
Yeah, you charge, yeah.
It used to have a little plug in it that lit your cigarettes for you. And he used to have a cigarette lighter in the car. And so during caution flags, he'd pull out a grit, pop that cigarette lighter in, let it get hot.
Do new cars have cigarette lighters anymore?
They don't. Well, they have the port. I mean, obviously the thing you plug into, it's the 12-volt port.
Yeah.
But the actual cigarette lighter. Have you seen a cigarette lighter?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been in old cars.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, my car has the port. I use it for my Bluetooth.
I thought it was cool when I got my first car had a cigarette lighter port.
It's just I haven't seen one.
See,
in
there's
a
certain
long
things
time,
like if you got in a car today with a younger kid, and it had a cigarette. It was an older car. You had a cigarette port.
Yeah.
Like go, hey, what? Push that in, and then when it pops, pull it out.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what is that?
Yeah, I don't think I ever actually used it, got it warm.
Yeah,
or
the
whatever.
end would glow red hot. It was kind of like an electric burner on your stove.
Sure, yeah.
It would glow red hot like that.
Yeah.
And And that's what you do. You put that on the end of the cigarette. The other thing, too, was there were ashtrays in cars.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes. And there were.
It's still funny to me because, we just flew back from Orlando. They still have the no smoking signs on every plane, even though smoking hasn't been legal on flights for like 30 years at least, maybe more. But they still have it's always illuminated, the no smoking sign.
Remember smoking and non-smoking sections at restaurants?
Yes.
Like you'd walk in smoking or non-smoking.
Or the first time when California went all non-smoking, I remember what it was like to go there. Because, you'd go out, and living in Lincoln, you go out to the bars,
Yep.
you'd have to have a can of Febreze.
Yes, you
When
would.
you leave the bar. But like the first time you go to a place that didn't have smoking and it didn't have that smell, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, to think about, you could, we'll take 2 in smoking.
Yeah, all the time. I can remember when Mom and Dad would go out on occasion, Dad had this leather jacket he would wear. And you could tell when they had been out the night before because that leather jacket would be draped out on the front porch,
To get
airing
the smell out?
to get the damn cigarette smoke out.
Yeah.
And it was just so common.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Dave says, which college football coach is most likely to vape, and why is it Lane Kiffin?
You think Lane Kiffin's a vapor?
I would not be stunned.
I don't know.
I wouldn't be stunned.
I could see him more as a chewer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, how come we don't get any basketball coaches that chew?
Oh, my God.
Well, where are you going to spit it?
Because you
That would be
because
awesome.
they all have that. They all have a cup that they
Gatorade
on
cup.
the
Oh, my
table.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That would be great.
Yeah, the best part, though, would be if he picked up the wrong cup and took a swig. And like,
Nasty.
It would be easier for him.
I'm going to ask Mac, hey, Mac, for one game, can you just chew on the sidelines? I just want to see it. I just want to see a basketball coach.
But you'd
chewing.
be able to have your spittoon right there.
Yeah.
I love this tweet from Riley, or this email from Riley. Did John just say there was a guy named Dick Trickle?
There was a race
There's
car
a real
driver named
human.
Dick Trickle. He was the big favorite of Keith Olbermann and
Yes.
Dan Patrick on the Big Show.
He brought
They would
more
always
attention to NASCAR.
Yes.
Trickle.
Every time they do NASCAR highlights, they'd show like the top 5, and Dick Trickle very rarely was in the top 5. They would always have, and 32nd place Dick Trickle. They would follow him all the time. They loved it. Well, yeah, he'd light up a grit in the car and smoke
How about
away.
this from Sean? My best friend's oldest brother was the student manager at Oklahoma that was responsible for Switzer cigarettes.
No way!
He always had to be nearby when Coach would want one. Incredible.
That's great.
Incredible. That
What
is
kind
so
of cigarettes did he have? That's what
Yeah, Sean, let us know.
Because I'm guessing he
Apparently that
probably
guy grew
got
up in
them for-
Omaha, according to Sean.
No kidding.
Wow, small
That's
world.
wild. Small world. Yes. That is a good job to have. Do you remember when
Yes.
Mangino was at KU, and Mangino would wear? He would be like dressed for winter in
Yes.
Yes,
in
that's
September
right.
hot football games. KU came in to play Nebraska. This was like one of those mid-November 75-degree days, and Mangino had like a winter jacket on. I mean, it was like it was supposed to be snowing in Lincoln. And there was one girl that just followed him up and down the sidelines with just a bottle of water. That was her job.
Just to be his cup holder?
Yes, just followed right behind with a bottle of water.
Crazy.
And I was thinking, I wonder if she also knows CPR when he goes down due to heat exhaustion.
Oh, man.
I would hope so.
Now, that would have been a guy that I could have seen smoking on the sidelines.
Yeah, oh,
Yes.
100%.
Oh, easily. He looks like the guy that would, but yeah, we need more of that.
Which,
Needs some more character.
because Mangino got canned at KU, they're not going to be able to get into the Big Ten. They haven't won 3 or more games at KU since he got canned.
Goodness. And that's been a
Just
while.
think if KU football would be like a 6-7 win team every year in this current state.
in this current state, then they
A lot more desirable.
They would
Yes.
be. They would be because it's a good school, it's good academics, and of course basketball carries the freight.
Mm-hmm.
But because they are so awful. I mean, even if they were, well, they were actually a little bit better than a 6-win team, but if it was like it was with
Mason?
Glenn Mason, thank you.
They were a top 10 team in 95.
Yeah.
Well-
If this were 1995, Kansas would be a very attractive team.
Look at KU football in 95 they had NFL guys on that roster, top 10 team. You go, 12 years later? They were almost playing for the national championship in college football
Yes,
in
they were.
07.
Yeah.
Yes, they were. Yeah, it is. There's a lot to say about timing. It really is. There's a lot to say about timing in all of this. Unfortunately, Iowa State isn't. I mean, they're good, but they're not at that same level. They don't have the same
through like that.
They don't have the same academic reputation as Kansas. I guarantee you, Kansas would be a very attractive option for the Big Ten today if this were the Kansas of 07 or the Kansas of 94, 95.
But
That's a good call, yeah.
One of my parameters for if you're going to add a team in the Big Ten, you got to add teams that fill up their football stadium. The last two teams you added don't fill up their football stadium.
Right. And you already have Northwestern that doesn't fill their football stadium. Purdue doesn't fill their football stadium.
I mean, the SEC is adding 2 schools that fill their football stadium.
Absolutely.
You can't add another program that has 35,000 in a 60,000 seat stadium.
So using that parameter, you look out to the West. Who are those teams? Washington, USC.
That actually fill it up?
That fill their stadium.
And
Oregon. Yeah.
Those would be the only 3.
And Oregon.
Yeah. Well, heck, USC doesn't even do it all the time. You got to have big games.
I think Arizona State, because they've shrunk the stadium. They've taken out a lot of seats. But with that,
with what's going on at Arizona State, I would stay away from them.
Yeah. Now you talk about timing. Arizona State's in a horrible spot right now if the Pac-12 starts to get pilfered, because no one's going to want to touch that. Mm-hmm. Even as attractive as it is, a bigger city, huge campus, but with what's going on, no way.
Well, as Herm Edwards said, you guys all know me. Yeah,
we do.
Have a good show, guys.
Thank you,
Gary.
That's Gary. That is the crossover. And coming up, busy program today. Robbie Lula's going to join us. Robin Washut, Jesse Temple on Wisconsin, and some Frosty highlights. The first edition of Fall Frosty Highlights on 1620 The Zone.